Well, if you watched the video that I just posted a little while ago, you will know that I had a problem with my chair and I'm getting ready to fix it. And of course I'm going to fix it right here in the office because I'm too lazy to bring it out. I already fixed half of it in here actually. What happened? I was sitting in it like so, and I moved around and I put my arm down and I leaned back and bang, there was this sound. And what happened was the bolt that holds the arm on over here snapped off. It snapped clean off like that. And I looked at this bolt and I said, this is too fucking small. This is too small for that to hold that arm on there. There's too much leverage on it, especially for someone, you know, that's not a lightweight. I'm not massively heavy or anything, but if you're moving around, see, that's the thing I was saying before about building stuff and overbuilding stuff. When it comes to furniture and stuff like that, like a chair, those have to be overbuilt. They can't be built wimpy like this right here. Now there are 4 of these in each arm, that's true, but still this is an undersized connection for that point. There's just too much leverage on it. There's too much motion, too much movement in the normal course of action with the chair. So like I said, I've already fixed this side over here. What I did was I took the bolts out and I replaced them with these things right here. These are 5/16 inch machine screws, and they're not a huge amount bigger, but a significant amount bigger than the 1/4 inch ones. I also know that they're harder steel than these happen to be right here. So that will make a big difference. Now to do that I had to take the arm off completely, and I'll do that on this side over here. These caps in here that hold or cover up the bolts. See, this one's loose already. They're all loose. That was the thing I was noticing before, but I thought it was part of the design of the chair that it would have a little bit of movement. Like I said before, I haven't used this chair a whole lot. One good thing about this side over here is that I don't have a broken bolt to deal with. I was happy when I took this off before because this is some kind of steel structure that's inside there and it doesn't move around. There's nothing right behind it like material, so I can drill in without risking getting it wound up in something and tearing everything apart. So I've got a 17/64 drill bit in the drill. I'm just going to do it by hand. Drill out the holes, and then I can tap them with the 5/16 inch tap. So I've got the holes drilled in all 4 locations. I got my tap here. Like I say, this is a 5/16 inch tap, and I've used this a lot over the years. It's very difficult to break this size tap. That's the reason why it lasts so long. They usually wear out. They get dull, too dull to use. But if you're just doing sheet metal or thin, steel, it really won't make much of a difference. Now, what I've done with this one, though, and I do this with all my taps, is I flatten one side so that when it goes in the drill, it will not spin around. That's the one thing you don't want this thing to do in the drill, is spin around. That flat spot, it does throw it out around a little bit, but when you're tapping a hole, you're not doing anything high speed, so it's not an issue. The other interesting thing about this, and I looked at this tap and I couldn't quite place why I did this to begin with, but the tip of it here is kind of sharpened to a chisel point. And then I remembered when I was actually driving these screws in, these screws are driven with a number 4 Phillips. The common one that I had for hinge screws and whatnot was a number 3 Phillips. That's bigger than a number 2, but this is bigger again. So I actually sharpened this here, or ground it down, to fit in there to drive these screws in, because you'd be up on top of a door. These are usually used for overhead stops that fit in the top of a door. Unless you're a door and hardware guy, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about here, but take my word for it. You'd be up on top, up standing on a step ladder, up on top of the door, you drill the hole, you tap it out, and bang, you've got the tap in your hand to drive the screw in, and you can drive it in firmly with that without a problem. So, wow, I'm talkative today, aren't I? Here I've got my tapping fluid, which is just regular light oil. And I've got it in a pill bottle here. You just stick the tap into it. I don't have a lot in the thing, just in case if you drop this being a plastic pill bottle, you don't lose a whole lot or make a big mess. You just dip it in, like with on the side like that, and rotate it over, and flick off the majority of it like there. And now I'm ready to tap the holes. Alright, that was easy enough. Now all you need to do is screw the handle on. And I've got my 4 bolts here. And they are the right length, which is good. And now you're going to see the tap in action for use as a screwdriver. Ah, isn't that good? Us door and hardware guys are probably the handiest people on the job sites. The commercial job sites, that is. Everybody else is a bit of a dullard, especially plumbers. So, get these in. And once again, these don't have to be super, super tight. What I may do sometime down the road, if I can find it actually, is get my thread locker, take these out again and put some thread locker on there, just to make sure that they stay there, they don't come out. But then I'm going to monitor it from now on, just to make sure that it doesn't do that. If I feel it's going to loosen up, I'll tighten it up. Okay, let's stand it up and try it out. Ooh, slippery. Ah, good as new. Feels like $1,000,000.